I'm Amelia. Welcome once again to my channel. Today I'm going to be watching Advanced Bravely episode 13. But before we do that, before we go into the episode, I have two things that I have to talk about for a bit. The first one, it is painfully obvious that this episode is coming out late. It was supposed to come out on Monday and it just didn't happen. It's probably going to come out on Wednesday. And I have to say that it's very likely that at least for the next few months, this is going to continue happening. That I'm not going to be able to stick to the schedule that I have set for myself. And the reason for that is that a very good friend of mine, and not only a friend, but also a colleague who is also a translator, he asked me as a favor to take on a translation project that originally he was going to do, but now because of some health issues, he's not going to be able to. Now, that wouldn't be nothing out of the ordinary. The problem is that this project is not only incredibly long and the deadline is just not far away enough, but this is a topic that I honestly not that familiar / I actually don't like it that much. And this is a problem, not only because I don't like it, but also because as translators, you usually have an area that you specialize. So you do translations within that area. That doesn't mean that you don't do translations outside of it, but when you specialize on certain things, that means that you know how to work them. So in my case, my specialization is in literary translation and social sciences. So for example, I do a lot of literary theory translation or literary analysis. So that means that I actually have a lot of experience doing that. So when I see certain terminology or when I have to, figure out the format or certain phrases that I have to use, I'm pretty familiar on how to do it. When it comes to literary analysis, it's not only terminology, but also deals a lot in, the format of certain things, like the format of quotes, of footnotes, or how to deal with a lot of that, especially because I translate a lot of papers and things like that. So that means to be very familiar with that sort of format. And obviously that I'm very familiar with the terminology. I have my own glossaries. I have my own dictionaries related to that. So when I receive a job that is in that area, I can probably do it, I wouldn't say pretty easily, but at least I don't have to do a lot of research in that sense. There is always like a foundation that you already have that, obviously you build over it, but you have a lot of it already figured out. When you do a topic that you are not familiar, you don't have that. You don't have that foundation. So you have to familiarize yourself with a lot of things that maybe you're not familiar. So the terminology, the way those things are written and things like that. So this is what happened in this case. I'm doing this project and I have to do it pretty quickly, but at the same time, I have to do essentially a fuck ton of research to be able to understand it. I had some of the terminology, like my friend gave me some glossaries and things like that, but in the case of this, they're not specific enough, so I have to also look for more specific terminology. So it has been, I'm not going to lie, a pain in the ass, and it's been a lot of work. So as you can imagine, that is affecting other areas of my life quite a lot. Obviously, no, I had to continue working because this is not my only job. I do have my teaching job and I have other projects that I had committed myself to finish before a certain time. So I'm also doing that. So I'm overworked, is what I'm trying to say. And that is definitely going to affect how I upload things from now on, because obviously it's becoming very difficult for me to meet the deadlines that I had put for myself in this channel, to say, oh, I'm going to upload this always on Monday, always on Wednesday, and always on Friday. Sometimes that becomes a little bit difficult for me. I think probably the one that I could maintain more is KinnPorsche, because for KinnPorsche, Fridays, it's a easier day for me to work, but when it comes to Monday and Wednesday, things are being all over the place. So this is essentially the situation that we have now. I'm committed to continue doing the 3 reactions a week. I can't promise any more than that. I can't promise more reactions than that. But at least the 3 that I have been doing, I'm going to continue doing. And they may be in any day that they are. Like, there's going to be 3 a week in whatever day they come out. I'm saying this because I'm tired of always explaining or always saying, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I'm late. I am going to be late. I'm very late. Sometimes maybe I'll surprise you and I've actually uploaded when I'm supposed to. But for now, it's going to be whenever they come out. And I think I put myself in the more pressure than anyone else into because I feel like if I had a deadline, I have to fulfill it. That is the crux of people who works freelance and they have a lot of deadlines, that when you put yourself a deadline, even if it's a self-imposed deadline, like nobody told me to put myself that deadline, when you put yourself a deadline, even then it's very difficult not to want to fulfill it. So there we go. Things are probably going to come out late, and it doesn't help that I had my brother still staying with me. Essentially, he moved in with me because his apartment is going, I think they're remodeling something, they're fixing something, I don't know. He explained to me. I was paying attention. I just didn't understand what was. It was something to do with the pipes. I'm not sure. So he's been staying with me. He's going to continue to stay with me. And it's very difficult to record with him when he's around because he's a little shit. He keeps making so much noise. So I can only record when he's either sleeping or not here. In this case, he's not here. He went out with his friends. Thank God. I said, going out with your friends on a Thursday? But that is the youth today. And I sometimes go out with my friends in any day, but I feel like I own, I'm older. Like I earn it. But these guys, he just went out. I don't know. It's also very difficult to live with somebody else. I'm used to living alone. I live alone with my cats, with my dogs. I'm very happy that way. And living with somebody is also been very difficult for me. So essentially that's the state of my life. I'm sorry I'm doing catharsis once again in the intro, but that's just the way it is. Things are in this. Let's hope this is just the last stretch of 2022. Let's hope for a much calmer 2023 for me specifically. So the second thing that I have to talk about is the fact that I'm going to upload this to Dailymotion. Now, this is not my preferred place to upload things. I have had issues before, not necessarily with viewing, I believe, but I never had a video, deleted or anything like that, which, is always a possibility when you do these type of videos. But my main issue that it was always just a pain to upload things. Like sometimes you will start uploading things and it will tell you like, oh, it's going to finish uploading in like 2 days. And it's like, what? So I stopped uploading things to Dailymotion, and now I moved to BDR. That's what I've been uploading, but since a few weeks ago I find out that BDR now only allows 25 videos in the free accounts. I obviously have more than 25 videos, but it only started to come, into play at a certain point. So now I have, I think, like 5 or 6 videos occupied. But that means that at some point I'm going to run out of places to upload. And that is going to be a problem because I have no idea where I can upload things. That is essentially the problem that I'm having, because I looked into paying for VDR, but my God, that's a price. That is a whole price that they have. So and it was in dollars and everything. So I very quickly said no, thank you. So I'm thinking of other alternatives. Dailymotion is one of them, but again, it is not always reliable when it comes to uploading. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure what the deal is with copyright there. So I'm not sure about that. I guess Google Drive exists, and I actually have a paid account for that, but I use it for work and I don't want to fill it with something else. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. In any case, I'm going to start uploading Advanced Bravely to Dailymotion since they are the shorter episodes that I do. That's provided that I watch one episode a week, of course. But if I watch one episode a week, that is the shorter episodes. So that means that, it's going to be fairly easy to upload, and hopefully it's not going to take a long time. So that's pretty much it. That's what, that was what I was said. That was everything that I have to say. So now let's go into the show. Now, I thought about doing this a bit different. So instead of going into the inevitable summary that I'm going to do of the previous episodes, before I start the show, I'm going to start the show and then do the summary, because I'm determined of doing the summary during the introduction. Like, I think I can boil it down to that time. And I feel like the last two episodes were pretty big, but I feel like in terms of happenings in that action, in terms of action in those episodes, I don't know what my mouth is doing anymore. I think it has been completely disconnected from my brain for at least like half an hour. Anyway, I don't think that there is a lot of like actual events that I can talk about. So I'm just going to try this. Let's see how it works. So let's go to Advance Bravely episode 13 right now.